This is the AUXITO 3157 type amber LED automotive bulbs. Let's take it out of the box. And in the box we find not just one but two of these bulbs. I'm only showing you one because I've actually already installed one, but no worries, I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. This has 24 LEDs on it, as you see, going around like that. And this also is a self-ballasted lamp, anti-hyperflash. Now, a lot of times people say, oh, I want to get those LED bulbs, put them in my car, and they put them in, and the turn signal goes chunka, 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 chunka really fast. That's called hyperflash. And that's because there isn't enough load on the system for the turn signal flasher to work properly. There's a few ways to combat that, but this does have a built-in load resistor to help prevent that from happening. Occasionally, however, some cars that are very sensitive to it may require an additional load resistor. This is also from AUXITO. I'm not going to be using these in my particular application because my car does not require it. Typically what you're going to do is bulb is going to have two wires going to it. There are other bulbs that are going to have three, such as this type, but that's again a different story. For a typical two-wire bulb, you're going to hook this up in tandem with those two wires, and they give you the splice connectors here. You don't cut the existing wires. These connect one on one wire, one on the other, and that's your load resistor there. You want to mount that somewhere out of the way because it gets very hot. But again, that's only needed in certain cars. You'd have to simply try it and see to know if you're going to need it. If you get that hyperflash syndrome, then you're going to need a separate load resistor. But in most cases, the built-in one on this bulb will work. Now, like I said, this is a 3157 bulb, but it fits a myriad of different applications here. Typically, this is going to be used for turn signals because it's amber. But there are a number of different bulb types. So you have 3157, 3156, 3056, 3456, 4156, 3057, 3457, and 3456. This will fit all of those particular applications. Here's the reason I put one in. This way I could show them to you side by side. You can see that the size is almost identical. The AUXITO LED bulb is just ever slightly longer, and only in a few minute circumstances would that ever cause a problem. But in most cases, there's enough wiggle room and playroom, if you will, that it's just going to simply fit. As explained earlier, these bulbs are amber, 24 LEDs per bulb, and 25 watts per bulb. They are 300% brighter than the standard halogen bulbs. Let's go ahead and put them in. So here's the car I'm going to be installing these bulbs in. This is a 2007 Toyota Camry. Like I said, I already installed one bulb. I'm going to go ahead and turn the parking lights on now so you can see, and you tell me which one is the new AUXITO bulb and which one is the old halogen. I'm also making a point of showing this to you in broad daylight with the sun shining because that's when it counts. Who cares what it looks like at night? Obviously, it's going to be a lot easier seen. You want it to be seen during the day so people know that you have your signal on. So take a look there. I'll give you a closer up shot. Here's the passenger side, and there's the driver's side. A huge difference. Now let me show you how to install it. Now a lot of people think, well, it's right here, so I'll just open the hood, stick my hand in. Nope, you can't. You have to go through the wheel well. But it's really not that difficult. First, turn your steering wheel to the opposite side of the car. So this is the driver's side, and imagine that you're sitting in the driver's seat. Here in the US, we would then turn the wheel to the right. You want the front of the tire leaving you the most space in the wheel well, so we're going to turn it all the way right. So turn the wheel like that. Obviously, if you were working on the other side of the car, turn the wheel all the way the other way. Again, this car is a bit difficult, so you are going to need a flat blade screwdriver. You can actually get away without it. A pair of pliers or two might be handy. Again, you may not even need any of these. to get in there. Let me show you what you're up against. First thing is this little plastic connector piece. It should have the groove in it straight up and down, vertical like that. If it's not, it's actually installed incorrectly. You're going to turn it 90 degrees, just like that. And now just get in there. You can use the screwdriver if you need, and you're going to go ahead and just wiggle and pull, and it comes out. Notice the two little teeth on it here. You don't want to break that, and there's also a couple of clips there. That's why you turn it first so it comes out. You have to install it differently, but we'll get to that when we're ready to reinstall. There's another plastic clip that you need to remove. It's about 2 inches back from where the fender meets the bumper, and that's what it looks like there. Get a flat blade screwdriver in the center of that, around that ring, pop the middle out, and then the button will pop out. The next thing you need to do is peel back the wheel well liner. That's this plastic piece in here. It's thin plastic. It's not going to break on you. It's very flexible stuff. But you got to just sort of get in here with your fingers and just sort of get behind it and grab it. I almost got it here. And you can sort of peel it out. Okay, push it out of there, out of that clip, and pull it back like this, and there you go. So that's going to give you access for you to get your hand up in there to replace the bulb. Now I can't show you in here, so I stuck an endoscope in. See that black connector with the 2 wires? It's not that one. It's this one with the 3 wires. You're going to do this by feel, so feel for the 3 wires. So once you have an idea of what you're looking for, make sure you're feeling the right connector, and in this case it's the one with the 3 wires on it. You're going to give it a twist counterclockwise. Think of unscrewing the top of a 2-liter soda bottle, but turn the bottle on its side. So you counterclockwise turn it. It's going to turn maybe 90 degrees or so, and sometimes it's going to take force. It may not come out as smoothly as this one. It's been in there for years. It turns about 45 degrees actually, and then comes down. I'll get you a better shot of it here. This is what we came for. So now grab the bulb carefully and wiggle it side to side, and it will unplug from the connector. Again, things may not go as swimmingly for you. Sometimes they get stuck in there. You might have to use a screwdriver to pry it out. Sometimes the glass breaks. It's just things that happen. Just be prepared. Hopefully it'll just go nice and easy for you. Now we're going to get the new bulb and put it right in the same way this came out. So now we're just going to take the bulb and go ahead and put that in the socket. Just line it up good and wiggle it, and it's going to seat itself home in there. See, I have it in there, and then has to click in. Once it's clicked in, before you go and button this whole thing up, test it out. Turn your parking lights on. Turn the blinker on. Or your hazard lights. Let's see if it works. Here's the parking lights. And now here's the blinker. Definitely working. Now we'll go shut all that off and reinstall exactly the same as we took it out. I know they make it look real easy on TV. Well, this isn't that kind of video. I'm going to show you the real life example of how this goes back in. Now obviously I can't show you in there because I don't have anything that I can hold and fit in there at the same time, but I just want you to see how long it's going to take. Now you're going to put the bulb back in any old way you want, and then you want to turn it counterclockwise again, and you will feel as you push inwards to seat it, you're going to feel it sort of push in, and then you know you have the notches lined up, and then give it a twist clockwise, maybe about 45 degrees. So just turn it back around, use your finger, your index finger, to find the hole that it came out of. All right, now I found that. So now I've turned it counterclockwise. I felt it click in clockwise, about 45 degrees, and it's now locked in place. And we're all set. So now we go and button this up. Okay, now it's time to put the fender well back in. Like I said, it's real flexible plastic, so you can bend this and that. It's going to go back. The idea here is to tuck it in behind the fender, behind the bumper. Pay special attention over here where this thing is. There's a hole there. Now, it might be ripped out. If it is, just make it look good enough. If it's still intact like this one is, there is a notch in the back of this. If you look in there, there's a little notch, and you shove it in there, and then you can get it to seat when you put the connector back in. So here we go. Take that, just bend it, push, bend on the inside, anything you have to do to get it back in place behind the fender so it's tucked in. And over here, we're going to push in a little more, get it in that slot, something like that. Push this in. Okay, and then you gotta pop back anything that you popped out before, like that. Get everything seated. Okay, and when you do that, you should be able to get this connector back in. So now we're going to take that. It goes in with the two little ears vertically because that's the only way it fits. So you push that in, and now you're going to have to wiggle with it and play with the plastic liner. And then once you get it, it'll push straight home. And make sure again that that is straight up and down, because that prevents it from being pulled out, and that's what holds it in. So it has to be straight up and down when it's locked in position. Now we're going to go and put this clip back in. Now mine is a bit broken, but you pull the button out, and you see I only got like 2 clips left. There's a hole in the liner here and a hole in the back of the fender. You get that in there and shove the button home. And that's it. All back together. Straighten out your wheel and you're back on the road. And now let me go and put the parking lights on. Much brighter, of course, now even on both sides. Now let's try the turn signals. And the hazard lights. Now if you have a breakdown, you tell me you're not going to be seen. These are absolutely phenomenal. So much brighter than the old halogen bulbs. You can see it a mile away, and also, if you notice, it's like instant on, instant off. It doesn't kind of fade on, fade off, fade on, fade off. So it's a solid on, solid off. There is no mistaking which state it's in at all. Really nice and bright, attention getting, and if you're just making a turn, it's absolutely unmistakable, even in broad daylight, and that's why I'm showing it to you now. So once again, this was the AUXITO 3157 type amber automotive LED bulbs. If you'd like to purchase this item, I'll leave a link in the video description to the manufacturer's website where you can find this item available for sale. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.